I have to share this dream slash vision I had last night. Now, I'm not going to really speak too much on it because I'm still trying to put my head around it. I'm still trying to remember um, as much details as I can, but it's a quite disturbing dream. I wanted to stay in the vision, but I woke up as soon as I saw it. I woke up. There was no sound. It was just all motion. And there was other parts and connections to that vision, which I can't really remember. But I was walking. I arrived at this place. It was very clean, um, pavement. You know, it was mostly like pavement. All I saw was pavement. I didn't really see any grass. It was more like the activities that were going on was more like the description of what was going on with Epstein. Okay, and we can only just try to imagine what was going on according to what we hear in the media. But this was worse than what was described on Epstein Island. Now, keep in mind, I wasn't watching TV, wasn't watching anything that would trigger that type of vision, but it was quite disturbing. And what I saw was it was like mostly pavement, and then there was this building that was made of pavement. You know, it was brick. It was all brick, like white brick. And when I walked up, there was a guy that had like a podium that was set up, and he and the other, I'm gonna call host or people that's a part of this, what appear to be a cult type ritual thing, and they had on a garment that was more of a cross between Native American garment, no headdress, but Native American garment, and um, what is those dudes that wear the dresses? You know what do they call? They're like Irish people or whatever, but it was a cross between that type, but it wasn't Native American um, attire, but it kind of looked like it. It was brown, like real light brown and white, different shades. It had feathers, and then it had some other type thing that was and it was like an occult type setting, like some type of ritual. And he was like standing at the podium as if he was the one that he was the entrance of it. Okay, he was either you pay him or you take whatever tickets that was needed, and it's hard for me to describe it. Okay, um, but he was standing there, and when I walked up, the building itself was made of stone, and a great portion of that was glass. It was like glass that you can see through, but the glass was like dirty. It was like cloudy, right? Um, and in that glass were other people that were dressed like him. That was part of that. I'm gonna call a cult or ritual. And what I saw, there was no signs, no nothing. There was no signs. It was just this building and this big glass. No, if you were to go to like a zoo and then they have the big glass, and sometimes that you'll see like in a video, like where you see whales and fish swimming around, and little kids can walk up to it or adults can walk up and look at, and the fish, dolphin will come right to the glass. It was that type of setting, but it was a part of a brick building. And I know I'm prolonging this, but I'm trying to get you to see what I saw. And inside the glass, and I'm gonna be careful because it's worse than what was described in Epstein Island. And I don't more than likely TikTok may remove this video because of it, but I would also upload it on to X, at Majestic Salagi, Majestic Salagi, same as the name on TikTok. But what I saw was like these guys that were part of this ritual, and children, but all of the children was like, they were like strung up. They were all naked. They had nothing on, and on their bodies looked like it was like cuts and whelps where these kids were being massacred, right? They're being tortured, while at the same time, these men, and they were all white. These men with these costume on were actually molesting them. Okay, they like had the kids. They had nothing on, and they were just pounding on these kids. Man, it was like little kids, and they looked like they were probably about the age of like maybe 7 to about maybe 9, 10 years old, and they had nothing on. Their body had cuts all over them, and they had these kids stressed out, and they were just like going to pound town on these kids. There was like no sound in this. It was just motion. It was just this huge glass, and inside that glass was what these men, or I'm gonna call them demons, were doing to these kids. And when I walked up, I saw it. That man was standing there. He didn't see me, so I guess I'm just seeing it. He was standing there. He was outside of this building, but inside the building it was a brick building with all of this glass, and inside that glass, which I guess was like a show window, and they were just pounding these kids, man, that were abused and cut, and the kids weren't saying a word. They just had them stretched out, and these men were just going to town on it. It was so disturbing. And I was thinking about it today. At first I forgot about it, and then it came back to my mind, and I thought I'd share it. So I'm gonna also put this on YouTube on my dream channel. But usually when I start dreaming things like this, it comes to pass, or something is revealed. And I did see the face of certain people. I saw their face, and if I were to see them again, I would know them, or their energy, I would know who they are. But they were just massacring these kids, man. And I don't know if these kids were dead or alive, but they just had cuts and blood on them, and these men just had them, and just like was just pounding on these kids, man. It was just inside that glass. And I woke up, and I tried to get back into that vision because I wanted more detail, but I couldn't get back into it. So I don't know what that means, or what it represents, or but I did see the face. I've always been one that dream and have visions. Since I was a child, I've seen all kind of things. As a matter of fact, I saw the Persian Gulf War before it happened. I saw Amanda Berry that was kidnapped, and those girls. I saw that, and I made a video about it. It's on YouTube. Before it actually happened, I saw that before it happened. I saw so much. I've seen people's death before it actually happened. I've always been that way since I was a child. I came into the world with that type of gift, but usually when I see things, I usually tell like my family, like my mom's before she passed this past November, or would put it on YouTube to kind of record my dreams, to record the dreams. But my mom's passed, so I can't really talk to anybody like I did her. um, but the dream was insane. It was worse than anything that, I've dreamt of missing kids before, and I've seen bones of children, and I've seen quite a few things that have come to pass, and much of the stuff has not come to pass. I've seen dreams of Hillary Clinton back in time, and I posted them on a dream channel I had on YouTube, and that channel had no strikes or no type of community guideline violations. And when I posted that vision, I woke up the next morning and that whole channel was gone. A lot of things that I dreamt of, it came to pass, and it was coming to pass, and it's coming to pass now. So in that vision I had last night, it looked like it was like some type of, ex trafficking. Um, it was horrible, very disturbing. So what do you guys think of that? And I'm making this to record it just in case it come to pass. But I did see some faces in there, and if anyone out there is a part of that ritual or that ceremony, yeah, I know who you are.